Hi, Scott here again in the kitchen. Continuing with our party theme of food for fingers and Christmas and those sorts of things, we're going to do a traditional Chinese style wonton. It's a pork-based wonton. Now if you don't or can't eat pork, then you could just basically leave the vegetable component or add some more vegetable components into it. But let's get into our ingredients. So what I've got here is some minced pork, 70 grams, goes into my bowl. With that I'm putting, it was just a small wedge of cabbage. So if you imagine half a cabbage broken down into about sort of 6 pieces, we want just one of those 6 bits, and that's diced very finely. To that we're adding 1/4 of an onion, which I've already diced. And then we want to add our flavouring agent. So we want a good teaspoon of brown sugar. We want to put some ginger in there. Now you can add as much or as least you like, but I usually put a generous half teaspoon in. And then we want some soy sauce. Usually around about a tablespoon of soy sauce. And then we need to mix all of those together. Initially just with a wooden spoon, just to start to combine them. But this will need nothing else to actually bind them together, like an egg or an egg white or anything like that. The actual pork mince will actually bind everything quite happily together itself. So what we need to do is get our hand in there and we bring those ingredients together. So you basically just squish the pork mince through your hand, and that will actually create its own binding agent and bring all of those ingredients together. So there we have our mixture ready to go. I'll just clear down. So at this stage you need a nice dry bench. You need a wee dish of cold water, and your hands need to be dry as well. And then we're going to use the wonton skins. So again, you can buy these in the supermarkets in the frozen food section, but when you unfold them, be very careful because they're very thin, so you want to make sure you're only getting 1 or 2 of these at a time. So they go on to your bench, and then you're going to take sort of a generous teaspoon full of the mixture in the centre of the wonton skin. And then taking the water on your finger, you could use a pastry brush, but your finger's just as easy. Go around all 4 sides or edges, and then we pick up the wonton, we fold it into, or in half to form a triangle, getting rid of all the ear and sealing those edges together. Then we fold it into our wonton shape, and the easiest way I find to do this, I'll turn on my side so hopefully you can see a wee bit better, is we take each of these points, we're not actually folding it in half that way or in half underneath, we're actually bringing these 2 points around together. So basically a bit of water on the edge, which will help it seal the 2 edges together, and we bring it around and we seal it. And that's the shape we're actually after. So I'll do these other 5 I've got here, and I'll do each one reasonably slowly, so again you can hopefully master that technique. So seal the edges, bit of water, bring these 2 together and squeeze tightly. So that's the shape we're looking at. If you can't actually do that shape, then you could just fold it in half. It will still cook up the same, it will still taste the same, but it won't necessarily have that wonton style shape. So again, these are another quite good party food recipe. The only downside with these, you can't make them too far in advance because the water and the moisture and the mixture will start to break down the wonton wrappers, and they'll just go very soft before you get a chance to fry them. But again, if you had the grandchildren or children around, make the mixture and get them to help you fold them all, and then cook them off. So you could cook them off a wee bit ahead of time and just warm them through in the oven to serve them just before your guests arrive. So this is the last one I'll do, and then we'll talk about how we cook them off. So I'll bring them over to the deep fryer. Now, optimum temperature for deep frying is 180 degrees. So we want to put these in, and they won't take very long at all to cook. I'll just get this a wipe down. So they generally puff up very quickly, and the pork mince cooks very quickly as well. So it's ideal. Now I'm going to serve these with some sweet and sour sauce, which is quite traditional for wontons. This is a store-bought one. If you're going to make your own, it depends on your own taste. What you would normally do is heat some sugar and some white vinegar with a bit of chilli, and then you could put in some vegetables the likes of carrot and onion, and if you want to, you could actually put a wee bit of red food colouring in to actually give it that sweet and sour colour. But you want to strike that balance between the sour of the vinegar and the sweetness of the sugar to give you your sweet and sour. So just keep those stirring around so they don't stick together, making sure you've got a tray with some handy kitchen towel or some sort of napkin on there that's going to drain any of the excess fat off them, or in this case the oil that we're deep frying in. Drain on there. And we can finish that off with a nice bit of greenery. So there is our traditional style wonton with the sweet and sour sauce.